Check out this mountain lion kill. Looks like an elk, I think. Having a hard time. Elk or a deer, but there's some pretty dark fur in there. This is definitely elk hair. So you know that feeling when you feel like you're being watched. I don't have it right now, but I'm sure I will. He's around. Some good old mountain lion. Hey guys, welcome back. We are out fixing some fence today. So we're at one of our permits that we call Rochford permit. It's probably 50-60 miles from our home place. So we're hoping to bring the cows up here the end of the week. So we came up here not only to fix the fence, but to check on the grass as well. The grass is a little behind out here. We can usually put them out here June 1st, which would be tomorrow, I believe. The grass isn't ready to be out here by June 1st. So we're gonna come out a few days later, probably the end of the week, maybe the 3rd or the 4th. So my dad and Jaques went to another spot. I'm doing all the south edge of our permit. It's probably 6 miles of a border, and there's a little trail that I'm following. It kind of runs parallel to the fence. So I'll drive a little ways, get off, go walk the fence, come back to the 4-wheeler, drive a ways, go get off. So I got my little chainsaw, big chainsaw, my stretcher wires, got my pliers, some staples, some clips. I'm ready to go. It's chilly, it's cold up here. We got 4.5 inches of rain up here last night, or that's what my grandpa said. But this permit is about 16,000 acres, and we're only allotted 100 head, 100 pairs of cows on here. So it's a really big permit, not many cows. There's decent grass. We could put a lot more cows on here, but that's just what the Forest Service has decided will work. So as you can see, there are spots where it's pretty rocky and not a lot of grass as well. So I followed this road probably a half mile back to where it goes to another gate. So I'm just gonna walk back that way to where I was. I think there's a little gap fence here because it looks like there's a pretty big rock face, but we'll find it, we'll figure it out, we'll get it all fixed up. So we've got these small chainsaws we take along, they're really handy. So then you don't have to take the big one along everywhere we go. Stretch this out. So sure enough, it looks like the fence just, oh gosh, the fence just dead ends right up next to this rock face. I mean, that's pretty hard to build a fence over, so I understand why they haven't. Yeah, cows could walk past this. You won't get many that will though. So I know some of you will be wondering. We do have other places where we actually put some like rock climbing gear into the rocks, and we'll anchor the wire into the rocks, but I mean, I don't know when this was built, so I'm gonna crawl around this edge. Sorry, I'm kind of breathing heavy. Memorial Day weekend, I was eating good. Saw some of Damaris' family in Minnesota, and I wasn't working. I was enjoying their cooking, we'll just say. So Damaris and all her family, all those ladies, they can really cook. But it's good, I'm back out here now. I can work that off. So I'll just go around here, see if I can link up with the fence on the other side, go back to where I left off before, come back to the four-wheeler and keep going. Whew, pretty nice view. Speaking of Memorial Day weekend, if any of you are veterans or have relatives that are veterans, or if you have family that you've lost, I just want to say thank you guys. We do really appreciate it. You guys have made a huge sacrifice for all the rest of us in this country who get to enjoy working and the freedoms that we have. So honestly, huge thank you to you guys. We wouldn't be where we are without you. So I hope you were able to be celebrated over this past holiday. Check this out. Most of the times if there's a little distressed place, that doesn't really make a lot of sense in the middle of nowhere, it's somebody mined here in the past, probably during the gold rush in the Black Hills. So somebody mined here a little while ago. It's also a little cave cavern. Here's another little mine shaft. Must have filled in. Well, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's only that deep. There's a Forest Service property line boundary marker. So I gotta be getting close to the fence over here. It's a mess. So I just made it back down to the little trail road. Got to the other side of the gap fence and fixed that, and I'm just walking back. But I wanted to show you guys what we used for a little map. So it's probably going to be hard to see, but we've got these maps on our phones. They're Forest Service maps. You don't need service. It's all GPS. So here's me. It's tracking me. You can show which way I'm pointed, where I'm at. You can see I'm on this little road. So I'm this little blue dot. I'm on the road right now. You can see the road, and this red line is the south border of our permit. So I started over here, and so far I've fixed to here, and I'm gonna go all the way over here and down here. This is one of our pastures, one of the pastures in this permit. We call it Bloody Gulch. But if you zoom out, here's another pasture. We call that Gimlet, just Gimlet pastures, West Gimlet and East Gimlet. But I think Jaques is going to fix along this side, and my dad is going to fix along this side. So hopefully we can get it all done today. I don't know how many miles around it is. If this is 6, this has got to be another 4. So there's 10, probably another 10, probably 15 miles around, and then there's a couple cross fences that will come get back in the future. So there's probably 15-20 miles or 30 miles of fence up here. We usually walk and do about 150 to 200 miles of fence each year, and some of our other permits have a lot more fence. This one isn't that bad, but so yeah, it's kind of neat. That's where I am. You can see there was a little gap fence here. This black marks is where the fence was. So the top of that peak was right here. I just walked around the peak, found the fence, and fixed over to here to where the road was, jumped back on the road, and I'm back over here now. So my four-wheeler's parked right here. Gonna find it, and you can see the road kind of goes along our fence here, just back and forth. So I'll just get off at each one of these places and walk the previous or the fence ahead of. So not a bad deal, not a bad little gig. Pretty handy little maps. A lot of this fence we've rebuilt over the past years, so the stretch I'm doing really isn't that bad. We have had a ton of bug trees come in. You can see all the trees that are down. Those were over our fences and stuff too. Just from, we had the mountain pine beetle that came through, killed a whole bunch of trees. And then once the trees die, you get some winds, and those just blow the trees right over your fences. But I don't like to complain about the moisture when we get it, because it's a huge blessing, but it is tough when Mother Nature calls and you're out here and every log you can find is soaking wet. So that's the only downfall. A lot of you will know what I'm talking about. I don't know if any of you remember, but last fall we were up here, actually at this permit, not in this spot in particular, but we were up here clearing out some of these little jack pines along some of our fences. So this is a spot where we've done it before. You can see how much nicer it is to have it cleared out around. The jack pines otherwise are just super thick. You can barely walk through them. I mean, for me to walk through these, it's doable, but it's a little more difficult. So you can see how just handy it is to have them cleared out. Once all these little stumps are gone and stuff, you could pretty much just drive a four-wheeler along here. And that would just be, that'd be so nice. That would help us be able to cover these fences in maybe half the time, a third of the time than we can anyway. Which it isn't bad the way that we have it, but it's just, the Forest Service allows us to cut these trees. So if we can do it in spots, it's really, really helpful. Get some fresh clips in here. Maybe stretch her up. Should be good. When it comes to fencing on the Forest Service permits, the permittees, or us as the ranchers, are responsible for all the upkeep and pretty much all of the rebuilding of fences. But the Forest Service will do some cost sharing with us, so they'll provide some materials, some steel posts, some wood posts, some wire. They will supply cattle guards as well, so that's really nice. But as far as maintaining the fences and doing the upkeep and mostly all the rebuilding and everything, that's usually up to the permittee. Well, found some tracks. I think they're mountain lion or bobcat. It'd be a pretty small mountain lion, so I think it's a bobcat. But they say it's a cat if you can see an M. And if it's a dog track, you should be able to see a little claw, which I don't know, that might be a claw there. So it could be a coyote. They kind of look like little claws. I think it's a small coyote, actually. Still pretty cool though, it's not that old. Here's some deer tracks running the other way, so. Oh, then the coyote bobcat tracks just disappear. So maybe he's up in that tree. Nope. Or that one. Nope. He's probably watching me. And it looks like we got another just little gap fence around this outcropping here. So I already fixed the other side. Came up to it over here. Came around, piled up some logs. They were already there. Hopefully it'll keep the cows in. Oh, what do we have here? Little prize for the day. Nice. I just finished up this whole southern end of the permit that I was working on. I got everything done except for a stretch. It's probably just 100 yards that had a whole bunch of dead trees on it and a whole bunch of broken wires. So I just decided, hey, I'm gonna finish the rest of the fence. Then we can come back to that little spot sometime when we're up here putting out salt or mineral, or even the day we turn them in here, which it should only take an hour, but I was running kind of on a time crunch to meet those guys. So I got the rest of it done though, other than that little patch. So I'm jumping on the four-wheeler, gonna head down this little path, probably 2 or 3 miles, and hopefully meet them down there, and we'll load up and head home. At the end of the week, when we bring our cows here, we're gonna unload them in these corrals right here, and then I believe we're gonna trail them up that trail I just broke down. And this is where I'm supposed to meet them. I thought I was gonna be last, but it looks like they're not here yet. Creek's running pretty good. Howdy.
They've been waiting.
I waited a little while.
I figured you would be waiting. We just got done.
Okay. I didn't get that east side done. Or that
The
west piece done, yeah.
You got some.
I didn't even do it. I left at 5:30, came down here. I came down here at 5:30.
Were you up by the cattle guard then?